Hi, I'm Marc Prensky. I have a new book called Third Millennium Kids, a hell yes, low stress guide for everybody. And I'm here to tell you about it. I wrote the book because I wanted to present a counter argument to the doom and gloom that we hear so much about young people these days, that they're an anxious generation, that the Surgeon General is giving warnings. I have a much more positive and hopeful and comforting message for parents, and I want to share that with you. The issue is not that the kids have phones and that that's destroying them in some way. The issue and the reason for what's happening is that we are moving as humans from one era in the world to a very different era. And the reason we're moving to that era, I call one the second millennium and the second one the third millennium, the reason we're moving is because of compute power. Now, when I grew up, we didn't have computers and compute power was zero. When we went to the moon and landed people on the moon, we had the compute power now found in a greeting card. Today's kids have in their pockets, if they have a smartphone, what was 20 years ago called a supercomputer. And in the future, in the next 10 or 20 or 30 years, when these young people live their lives, they will have 1 billion or even 1 trillion times more power on their person as part of their body. And that is going to make such an incredible change in the world that it's very hard for many adults to get their minds around this, and even harder for them to guide young people as they grow up into this new world. So my book is a guide to help young people as they grow up in the new third millennium, and to help them do it in positive ways, in ways that they are excited about. What does that take? I see 5 big things that we just don't do today. We certainly don't do them in school, that will be extremely beneficial to kids. The first is high enthusiasm. That's what I call hell yes. Our kids have to be doing things that they are highly enthusiastic about. And most of school, as we all know, isn't something that most people are enthusiastic about. Some are get enthusiastic about something, but most of the time, school is doing stuff that you really don't want to do. It's learning stuff that you really don't want to learn, but you're forced to. So we need to get away from that and to move to high enthusiasm. At the same time, we need to move to much lower stress on young people. Our kids today are stressed out unbelievably. They're stressed out by school. They're stressed out by what they have to do. They're stressed out by their parents telling them that they have to do well in school. They're stressed out by the outside world, by climate change coming, by hearing that jobs are going away. Today's young people are very stressed, but the cause, importantly, is not the fact that they have mobile phones or cell phones or smartphones. The cause is that they are moving to a new world. And none of us quite know how to function in that world. So, what else do the young people need? They need high imagination. They need to bring out the imagination that's in their heads, which all young people have, but very little of it comes out. And we certainly don't encourage it very much in school. Now, why is that important? It's important because they're going to live in a world of AI. And AI, counter to what many people think, requires human imagination in order to reach its full potential as an amplifier of that imagination. So high imagination is important. Another thing is much better self-knowledge. If you ask kids, what are you passionate about? What are you good at? What are you strong at? What do you care most about? What problems do you see that you want to fix? Or many of them will say, I don't know. Well, they should know. They should know what their strengths are. They should know what their passions are, and they should know what they care about, because that's what's going to guide them in their choices in life. And the final number 5 is something that we really don't do enough of, which is real world accomplishment, getting things done in the real world. We didn't do that in the past, and we certainly don't do much of that in school. PBL is not any of that. It's just another pedagogy. The reason we didn't do it in the past is because the young people didn't have the capabilities, and they also didn't have the information. It was hard to find information and even hard to find teachers. Both of those are now different. And so young people can accomplish real world things and have real world impact. I call it measurable positive impact, starting as early as age 3 and certainly all through their growing up. And young people are doing this all over the world, not so much in schools, unfortunately, because schools are geared to learning in advance. But we can get these programs together that provide all of these things, all the real world accomplishment and the self-knowledge and the imagination and the high enthusiasm and the low stress, if we really want to do that. And that will benefit the kids enormously. It'll benefit all of us. And that's what my book is about.